Can I ask first, how did you guys meet and then decide that you would work together on this?
Well, Pete and I met at Whopper. Pete actually started at Whopper the year after I left, but I had gone over there a few times for one reason or another, and I met Pete there, and then Pete called me at the end of that year and said that he was going to further his study on composition, and that he wanted someone to write lyrics and script for a piece that he was going to, which has turned into the Hatpin.
Yeah, that was very humble beginnings.
Why a musical?
So I write music.
But why a musical instead of, say, when you've known this story for a very long time?
Yeah.
Why a musical instead of play? Or
there's something that interests both Pete and myself about dramatic work. Lots of people say that musicals should be funny and dancey and all that kind of stuff, but the ones that speak to us most tend to be darker or dramatic, and I don't see why a dramatic story can't sing in the same way that a funny story can
Absolutely.
sing.
It's just like film. When you do anything with film, that the music kind of makes it. Like, you can't have a scary film without the music, and so it's just kind of adding a little bit more. They sing instead.
the development, it's been in development for quite some time. How difficult is it to be brutal? I mean, obviously there's been times when you've had to get rid of a song.
James has no difficulty whatsoever being brutal.
No, I believe in brutality.
He's taught me a lot about being brutal as being good.
I think only the reason for that is because I've done other as an actor, I've worked on other Australian shows like Snugglepot and Cuddlepie and Eureka and Boy Band and also Nostradamus, and the process of that has always been about cutting and changing and moving until the thing feels right and until it feels like it has some kind of flow. So I actually think being brutal is what makes the process so exciting.
Have there been songs along the way that you just I really don't want to get rid of that?
We have a whole show of songs that have been cut now.
For the sequel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hatpin too. Yeah, we lost quite a few, but in their place we've gained ones that excite us even more. So
the cast is sensational. As a writer, you must be fantastic. You must be really pleased the cast that's been assembled.
Yeah, the cast's brilliant.
And you're Peter probably working closer with them now.
No, we'll do this month when we start rehearsals more. But yeah, I'm very excited about it. We have a very strong cast and great group of people. They're all lovely as well, which is nice to get talented people who work well together. It doesn't always happen. So yeah, we've been really fortunate.
How different is the show that people will see now to, say, the second workshop?
Well, the story, the essential story is the same, and the essential feel of it is the same, but the script bears no resemblance to the very first workshop. And it underwent its biggest change after the workshop we did now last year, in March, the second workshop, because I met with relatives of the people that it happened to, and I also done some more historical documents. So the actual script bears no resemblance to how it started, and it's far more detailed and operates much more like a thriller now. But essentially, the flavour of it and the story itself is the same story enhanced. So.
Who do you think the show speaks to? I mean, given that we have the popcorn theatre, I guess these days with the jukebox shows and whatnot, this is far from that. Who does it speak to? Where does its audience lie?
In terms of its demographic, because of the way the piece started, we never wrote something to be a commercial hit. It's not a jukebox musical, which we love, but. So I guess the idea of who it attracts is part of what is making this process exciting to us. We see tickets sold and we think, I wonder who those people are that story particularly appeals to straight away. But essentially it's just a big story about a young woman and her friendship with another woman and the rites of passage into moving from being a girl to a woman. So I would love to see lots of young women come and see the show. However, I'm not sure that history sells to them, but that's who I would say is the target, and also people like my mum, middle-aged women who understand the idea of carrying a child and perhaps losing a child.
I think it would appeal to most people because it's got kind of a lot of mystery about it. It's an intriguing story about a true part of Sydney's dark past that I don't think many people know, except for lawyers maybe.
Yeah.
It's because it's a very famous legal case, but I didn't know about it. You did, because you discovered the story, but not many people know about it. Everyone I talk to hasn't heard the story before. It's quite fascinating, and it's interesting.
Where would you hope it goes beyond here?
Well, anywhere. I think the show itself, because the story, even though it's a Sydney-based story, it probably has a bit of universal appeal because they're the same issues you'll get anywhere, and certain things that may have occurred in a lot of places all over Europe and UK and probably US too. Like in the past 100 years, it's all sorts of things are an important part of history that we don't necessarily know much about.
Yes, this actual same examples of this actual case happened everywhere in the world during this period where there was a gap in people's understanding of what single mothers needed and welfare and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people did the same thing as I can't tell you. But my idea for the show has always been that it's not a big show that's never played on a grand stage, and that it's a really intimate piece that is tourable and tellable in sort of like a festival atmosphere or a, so I would like to see it tour in that way, but certainly no ideas of grandiose kind of let's go to Broadway, nothing like that. It's just it's a big little story that I'd like to see tour to small theatres.
What are you guys working on next? Will you work together again, do you think?
Of course.
Oh yeah, we will. We just have to decide on something. We'll be talking about so many different ideas for the next show because, we obviously don't want to do the same thing again. So we want to try to invent something new and something that'll do something different to what this show's done. So we just have to find the way.
You guys have done a lot of work on the show off your own bat, and obviously now have a producer on board. But how difficult is it to write a new Australian musical and have support? I mean, obviously, probably playwrights get more support. How difficult has it been?
Well, in terms of the length of getting a piece on and up, I don't think it's been difficult at all. We've had so much support. We had every workshop that we've done. Everyone who's been invited has come and has given feedback and has helped shape the script. Anyone that we've sent it to has read it and given feedback. I think the actual process of writing an Australian musical is very hard and much harder than you think when you set out to do it. But in terms of getting it on, I can't.
We've been fairly lucky.
We've been really supported by everyone.
Different avenues to what we expected. I think that was, to me at least, is that it went differently. But we've certainly met with a lot of very supportive people, and I think people like the idea of it happening. It's just not. I don't think that there are many molds to follow in Australia. There's certainly a system for this in the West End and Broadway that they have, many people doing workshops all the time, something to develop new works and put them on, and have a theatre to put them on, have backers to put them on, have an audience who see that stuff. And in Australia we don't have as much of a mould, even though it's been done occasionally over the years. I think that was the weird thing for us, is that we weren't following anyone else's mould. We were kind of trying to do something new. But I think everyone's been really open and supportive about the idea, because I think people would like to see Australia have, its own new music theatre genre, because we don't much.
Guys, all the best for the season. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks,